Welcome back to Cozy English Corner. I am Alex, and today we are tackling something that almost every English learner secretly struggles with but rarely admits. It is that terrible moment when you want to talk to a stranger, but your mind goes completely blank.
Oh, the sudden panic. It is like you forget every single word of English you have ever learned in your entire life.
Exactly. Joining me today is Jasmine. She lives right here in Columbus, Ohio, and she works as a supervisor at a very busy coffee shop near the Ohio State University campus.
Thank you for having me, Alex. And yes, it is especially busy right now because the temperature just dropped. We have that typical freezing October wind in Columbus today.
It is freezing. Everyone is rushing inside for warm drinks. And Jasmine, because of where you work, you see hundreds of interactions between strangers every single day.
I do. And I see international students freeze up at my register all the time. They want to be friendly, but the fear in their eyes is so real.
Let us talk about that fear. Because it is not just about forgetting vocabulary. There is a deeper pain here. It is the fear of looking incompetent.
That is exactly it. You are a smart, capable adult in your native language. But when you try to make small talk in English and you stumble, you feel like a child again.
That loss of identity keeps people awake at night. They review the conversation in their head and think, why did I say that? I sounded foolish.
And that embarrassment prevents them from trying again. They just stand in line, staring at their phones, avoiding eye contact.
So today, we are going to fix that. We are going to give you a reliable strategy to talk to strangers without the panic. Jasmine, what is the very first rule?
Rule number 1. Keep your first sentence short and use the situation around you. Do not try to invent a brilliant topic out of nothing.
That makes sense. Many learners think they need to impress the other person immediately. They try to construct a perfect, complex sentence.
Right. Please do not walk up to someone and say, "Hello, I would like to begin a meaningful social interaction with you." That will make people step away from you.
Your only job in the first 5 seconds is to gently open the door. For example, if you are at a coffee shop on High Street, just ask, "What do you recommend here?"
Exactly. Or if you are waiting for the bus in the rain, you can say, "Is it always this windy in October?" You are just making an observation about something you both share.
I want to share a piece of science here that might change how our listeners feel. Have you ever heard of the liking gap, Jasmine?
I'm not sure. What does that mean?
Researchers from Cornell University found that after two strangers talk, they consistently underestimate how much the other person liked them. The other person usually enjoys the conversation much more than you think.
Wait, really? So while we are standing there thinking, "Oh no, my grammar was wrong, I am bothering them," they are actually just happy to be talking to someone?
Yes, people do not focus on your language mistakes. They focus on your warmth. Your accent or your missing vocabulary does not ruin the interaction. Your fear does.
That is incredibly comforting. So we do not need to be perfect. We just need to be brave enough to say the first short sentence.
Exactly. Let us move to rule 2. Opening the door is great, but what happens when they answer? If you do not know what to say next, the conversation dies.
I see that happen often. Someone will say, "Have you been to this store before?" The other person says, "Yes." And then there is just complete silence.
It is a painful silence. To avoid that, you need a simple pattern. Here it is. Opener, response, small comment, follow-up question.
I love patterns. Can you break that down for us?
Of course. You start with the opener. "Excuse me, is this seat taken?" The stranger gives a response. "No, go ahead." Now, do not just sit down in silence. Add a small comment. "Thanks, it is incredibly busy in here today." Then, the follow-up question. "Do you usually study here?"
That flows so naturally. The small comment is the bridge. It shows that you are listening and engaged rather than just firing questions at them like an investigator.
Precisely. The small comment is what creates warmth. It is what makes standard American English sound friendly. Phrases like, "Oh, nice," or "That makes sense."
Let us practice. Let us say we are at a local event here in Columbus, maybe waiting in line for food. I will start. Have you tried the food from this truck before?
I give the response, "Yeah, I get it all the time."
Here's my small comment. Oh, good to know. I was not sure what to expect. And my follow-up, what do you recommend getting?
Perfect execution. It feels light. It places absolutely zero pressure on the other person to carry the conversation. That is the secret to Midwest friendliness.
It is true. Here in Ohio, people generally want to be helpful. If you ask for a recommendation, they will gladly talk about their favorite sandwich for 3 minutes.
But that leads us to a very important reality. Sometimes people do not want to talk. They are stressed, they are tired, or they are just not interested.
Yes, I see this a lot. A customer tries to be friendly, but the other person just gives a one-word answer and stares at their shoes.
And what happens to the person learning English when they receive a cold response?
They immediately blame themselves. They think, my English is bad. They could not understand my accent. I made a terrible mistake.
That is the trap we must avoid. The truth is, that person might be worried about their credit card debt. They might be waiting for an important medical email. It is almost never about your English.
That is such a powerful perspective. So, how should we handle it when the conversation clearly is not going anywhere?
You need to know how to exit gracefully. Confidence is not just starting well, it is ending well without feeling rejected.
What is a good phrase for a graceful exit?
Keep it very simple. If they give you a short, cold answer, you just nod and say, "Got it, thanks," or "No worries, have a good day."
I like that. Got it. Thanks. It protects your dignity. You asked a question, they answered, and you close the interaction politely. It is still a success.
Exactly. You spoke English. You managed the situation. The goal is not to make a lifelong friend every time you speak. The goal is simply to be comfortable in public spaces.
Alex, can we practice a difficult situation? I want to see how this looks in real life when things do not go perfectly.
Absolutely. Let us say you are standing next to me in an elevator at the library. You try to start a conversation, and I am going to be very unhelpful.
Okay, here I go. Excuse me, do you know what floor the history section is on?
I just look at my phone and say quietly, 4.
Oh, that feels awkward. But I will use the exit phrase. Got it. Thank you.
Perfect. You did not panic. You did not stand there wondering what you did wrong. You accepted the reality and closed the door calmly.
It actually feels very empowering. Knowing how to end a conversation removes the fear of starting one.
That is a profound point, Jasmine. When you know you have an emergency exit, you are much more willing to walk into the room. Let us give our listeners a few more natural phrases to practice this week. These are small comments you can use to sound completely fluent and relaxed.
I use "oh, same here" all the time. It instantly creates a connection when you agree with someone.
Another great one is, "That is good to know." It is highly practical when someone gives you directions or advice.
And if you want to be honest about being new, just say, I am still figuring this place out. People love helping when they hear that.
It shows vulnerability, which brings us right back to the liking gap. People appreciate authenticity much more than they appreciate flawless grammar.
So to recap the strategy, do not force a deep topic. Use the environment. Use the pattern of opener, comment, and follow-up. And finally, know how to exit politely.
Exactly. Do not measure your success by how long the conversation lasted. Measure it by the fact that you opened your mouth and spoke English in the real world.
That is something I want every student coming into my coffee shop to understand. You are already doing great just by trying.
Thank you, Jasmine, for your insight today. To our listeners, we want you to try this just once this week. Ask one simple question to a stranger. It will change how you feel. Until next time, keep practicing, stay calm, And remember that real English is about connection, not perfection. Take care, everyone.